hello, Action Coach community. Marcus Sheridan here. We have 30 minutes together. And so what do you say we make it amazing? There's going to be a lot of takeaways. And so without further ado, let's jump in and talk about how today's customer has changed and what we must do about it, especially as we want to become that voice of trust in the marketplace over the next decade. All right, so two stats that we've got to analyze together, two trends. This first one is 80%. 80%. Now, some of you have read my book already. And if you have, that's great. It's going to be a great refresher, and it's going to be great for your team to watch this as well. But for those that haven't, you're going to appreciate these next two numbers quite a bit because they're affecting businesses all over the globe. This first one, 80%, and that is this. Studies show that the average buyer today is already 80% through the buying cycle before they reach out to an organization. And by the way, that was a B2B study. Sometimes in B2C, it's even higher. And so, what does this mean? They're 80% through that journey before you shake their hand. Before you know they exist, they're 80% home. So, we've got to look at history first, don't we? Let's say the internet's just getting started. It's 25 years ago. What do you think this number was? How far through that buying cycle was somebody before they reached out to the organization 25 years ago? Well, it's probably around 20, 30, maybe 40% max, right? But today we're at 80%. And the question is, for you, me, anyone that's watching this right now, every business in the world, where is this number going to go over the next 5, 10, 15 years? What does it mean for sales? What does it mean for marketing? Because if we're being very honest with ourselves, if this number is true, we've got to accept that it is. Which department of our organization has a greater impact on the actual sale? Is it the sales department or the marketing department? Which one? That's right, the marketing department. Notwithstanding, still, in this day and age, so often we view marketing as a straight expense and sales as revenue. And the reality is, the most forward-thinking companies understand that sales and marketing are way more overlapping than they've ever been. Marketing needs to be responsible more than ever for revenue. Sales needs to be responsible more than ever for some of the marketing activities of the business. So we've got to accept this as truth. This trend is fundamental to our success. So let's look at the next trend that I think is such a big deal to you and I. This is a newer one. This is from Gartner. And they said that 33% of all buyers now would prefer to have a seller-free sales experience. That was a B2B study again. 33% would prefer to have a seller-free sales experience. 44% of millennials would prefer to have a seller-free sales experience. Once again, what does this mean? What must we do? Does this mean they never want to talk to a salesperson? Not so much. I would submit that what it means is we as buyers, as consumers, do not want to engage with the company until we are ready to do it on our terms. That's where we are today. And so the companies that facilitate this seller-free experience by giving more while they're vetting you during that 80% of the journey, when they're on your website and you don't know them yet, but they know you. The companies that embrace this and say, okay, we're going to give them more. We're going to give them more answers to their questions, fears, worries, concerns. They're the ones that are going to be prepared for the road ahead. Okay, so we had to start with those two major trends. My quick story, I used to be a pool guy. That's right. Fiberglass swimming pools. I started a fiberglass swimming pool company in 2001 called River Pools. And things were going okay for our company up until this particular date that you're seeing on the screen right now. And of course, what was that date? Yeah, that was the day of the last crash here in the US at least. Not a good day for pool guys like myself. After this day, many people couldn't get loans for swimming pools. And within